Hey everybody, Reborn 8 here from R8 Gaming with another driver side chat. Gonna be talking about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Now I remember there was a lot of hype with this game. I remember attending PAX in Seattle, and in it was one of the theaters, they had it was all about Star Wars and Knights of the Old Republic, meaning there was a big long line. We all got in there and we got to see a demo that they were doing, the multiplayer demo. And the game had, of course, being Star Wars, the game had a huge fan base. So there's certain games, because of their name, like what I said earlier about the Alien franchise, certain franchises, because of the name, they automatically will get mass amount of interest. So with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, I remember one of the biggest things that they're touting about was, this whole voice acting thing. Like the whole game was voice acted, and I kind of looked at that and thought, well, that's nice, but I can read too. And most games, RPG game, multiplayer games, you might have a bubble or a chat thing over somebody's head, but so the whole thing with being voice acted didn't really, to me, it wasn't really a big motivator. I'm looking at more of the gameplay, and unfortunately, really kind of thinking about Star Wars Galaxies, which is a talk I'll do some other time. That's a rather long talk, but once you have something good, it seems like, and it's taken away from you, once something else comes around that seems to kind of be on that subject or the same type of genre, you always think about what you lost, I guess. So, looking at Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, okay, it's done in a different time period, and your character progression, everything else, and it wasn't bad. I didn't think of it was a bad game, but it felt limiting in a way, the questing, and I don't know, it came to the point where, what am I doing, and this is another thing, it has a companion in it. Now, right away, when they start to put a companion into a game, that's like, well, it's kind of a safety measure in regards to if you're playing it by yourself. Now, I've played a lot of games by myself, even multiplayer games. I always tend to be that lone gunman, the lone wolf. It gets to the point where I'm just kind of running around doing things on my own, and either it's not because I don't like to group up with other people, because it can be difficult to group up with other people. Form a pug, your pickup group. Just kind of wandering around, and somebody's like, "Hey, I want to group with somebody." Because first of all, you don't really know that person. You don't know if they're reliable, especially if you're working on something, if they're going to bail on you. It takes some coordination to be in a good group, I guess you could say, what I'm trying to say here. But with Knights of the Old Republic, it was an online game. You got to interact with other characters. There was an ability of combat, PvP, if you so choose. But it did have a lot of quests, and that was a good thing. But I guess it's so difficult for me, I guess, because I was always kind of basing it off of Star Wars Galaxies, seeing like what, they took Star Wars Galaxies away from me. What are they going to give me with this? And it's really kind of sad what happened to the game, because all the money, everything that they put behind it, and, now I think it's become a free to play, like in game, you buy things in game. So the model for it, I think it didn't really go where they wanted to, the people behind the game. But, nonetheless, it is in the Star Wars universe. So there is some nostalgia to that in itself. A lot of the characters will remind you of characters in the Star Wars universe. So the movies, the books, and everything else. the expanded universe of Star Wars. But I mean, it had good graphics. I'm not saying it has. It's still around. Like I said, it's not gone. It's just a different model, the free to play. And it seems like a lot of games that, talking about the free to play, a lot of these games that were started off as paid multiplayer that seem to shrink. You know, in the beginning of any big multiplayer game, there's a bunch of servers, and you know they're ready for the onslaught of people and all the players ready to jump on. But in time, it's inevitable that the amount of people that will play the game will drop off. That interest will drop off. It has to be a damaging thing for the studios, you know, for them to realize that and to keep those people. You know, certain games have been very good with it. You know, like WoW, World of Warcraft. But other games, you know, they've come out and they've died miserably because of it. Not still starting to stay away from Star Wars Galaxies, but Knights of the Republic. If you haven't tried it, you might want to check it out. You know, it might be your cup of tea. You know, it might be something that you really enjoy, you like. But, I mean, go into it with an open mind. And I think that's with me. I might not have done that, you know. Like I said, scarred by what happened with Star Wars Galaxies, you know. But, like I said, it's a Star Wars game. It stays true to the characters. You know, the feel and everything is very Star Wars. And, you know, it's an authentic Star Wars MMO. So check it out. You know, if you played it, you know, let me know what you think about it, or how you feel about it. You know, I started playing it in the beginning stages of it, and you know, didn't get through all the developmental stages, because every time a game comes out like that, it's going to go through its developmental stage. They're going to come out with patches and change things around, and every time you do that, every time you nerf one thing, you're going to make one group of people happy, while you get a group of haters on the other side. And that's just the thing with the multiplayer game. You're not going to be able to make everybody happy. But that's pretty much it for the driver's side chat today. Kind of want to I wanted to talk about that game because it was it had high hopes, and I don't think those hopes really got fulfilled from the makers of the game itself. But as always, this is Reborn 8 with R8 Gaming, and always, game on, man.